Guys, we're back today to do another head-to-head, and this time it has been requested by you, the viewer, and that is between the Mizuno 243 and the Titleist T150. Remember, if you like our videos, please hit that subscribe button and tell all your golfing friends. So we've had these two irons in the tests before, we've reviewed them, we've hit them, but we've never hit them against each other. Now, they're two really similar irons, both forged heads, incredibly soft, incredibly powerful. If you look at previous videos that we've done with this, with 243 and T150, I've always talked about how well they come off the face and how much power an iron like this actually can have. T150 for me has been a bit of a game changer for Titleist this year. I keep saying that, but it really has. We see it in the fitting studios week in, week out. 243 really sits in that classic Mizuno range where it's always going to be very difficult to beat this iron. So, as requested by you guys, let's get these on TrackMan and see what the numbers say. So, we're straight in, T150 first. Look, you guys, if you really want to get the technical data on this, Matt's done some fantastic videos on this product back earlier in the year. I've talked a lot about this product time and time again and how powerful it looks. It's the real winner in the T series range from Titleist this year. So, look, I'm pretty sure that if you've asked for it, you don't want to hear me waffle about the T150, you want to see the numbers. So, let's hit some shots and see how we get on. Not a bad one to start that, a little bit low. I'll just get some numbers on there and then we can have a little talk through them. It's just been a very good iron this year, T150. We keep talking about it, it looks great, it looks really classic Titleist. The feel off the face is phenomenal. And I think what's really good with that shot, or not that shot, but this club, is that it still feels very soft. So numbers coming out there, 120 ball speed. You've seen similar numbers from me before. What's really fascinating, I'm just going to pick up the data here and have a little scroll through. What's really fascinating with this data is the land angle for me is a little bit low. If I flick through some of these, I was hitting a couple thin in those videos there. Launch angle's still okay, but overall ball speed has been really consistent. So let's hit a couple more and see if we can get a better strike and give you a bit more of a representation of to where that T150 can land. A little bit pulley, but overall it's just a solid iron. I think one of the things that I have noticed, however, this year is that it's incredibly good to combo. I'll talk about that a little bit more with the Mizuno head as well, but T150 comboed with T200 in the longer irons has been an absolute game changer for some players. Some players love the look and feel of this iron in that sort of 6 iron or even 5 iron down, but just want a little bit more help, a little bit more flight to that 4 iron, 5 iron maybe. So they're using that T200, and because of the way T200 can fit with this, you're not really losing out in terms of the look or the feel. So a win all round for me. There we go, bit of better strike. Pops up a little bit higher, doesn't it, when I get it? So standard numbers, swings a little bit slow this morning. Getting older by the day. 120 ball speed, 48-degree land angle, so 165, 166 number. So it's a decent iron. I'm not gonna, there's not a lot else to say with it. If you want to look at some of the real technical stuff, go back and look at some of the older videos. But T150 is a brilliant iron. The main reason that we're interested in this is because you want to see it up against the 243. So let me go and grab a shaft. 243, really, I'm going to go and head into the world of Mizuno shafts here. 243, it always feels when Mizuno brings something out. Now I'm just for you guys, I'm just grabbing the Modus in there, the shaft that I kind of use anyway in my irons. But 243 is an iron that when it comes out, I don't think there's a player on the planet, and I might be wrong, that would look at this iron and be incredibly disappointed in it. So just fantastic looking, lovely, smooth, clean top line. Just looks superb, doesn't it? So let's have a look, see what the numbers say against T150. Quite crank that head, the head's a little loose. So I've just had to change to a different modus there, the little adapter. Always good filming is when something goes wrong. So before you all see, blimey, the grip's changed. It's exactly the same shaft, we've just got a second version of this in the bay, and the little adapter from Mizuno was just coming a little bit loose, so I thought I'd just change it over before the head flew down the driving range. So let's get back to 243. Power, right? Just all about the power with 243. Soft as hell, beautiful strike, just lovely feel off the face. Land angle, a little bit heavy that one, but land angle still pretty good for me. Distance, very, very similar. I think in terms of feel, it's very difficult to beat this iron in any test, really. I don't care what you put it up against. We've put it up against some other irons, Strixon and whatnot, and I think feel-wise, it's very difficult to beat one out of the middle on the face on this. However, the head does just look, from my perspective, just looks a little bit smaller. I think maybe the thinner top lines are giving me that perspective. And I just think maybe with the off-centre strikes, you're not getting as much out of this as you would the T150. So, but when you do strike it, I mean, wow. But you can see these irons are really, really similar. If you look at the data on these irons, 169, 166, with T150, they're about similar. So if you're looking at one of these irons, you're not going to see a huge amount of difference in terms of the overall performance. You're not going to see a huge amount of difference. They're both fantastic irons. They're top of the range irons. They're great feel. They're forged irons. And you're not going to see a huge amount of difference when it comes to distance. I think what's really important with these two irons is when it comes down to it, it's going to come down to your preference. And when we're in a fitting bay, it's really important that you as the player, if you've got these two irons up against each other and the numbers are telling you they're similar, spin rates are similar, land angles are similar, distance is similar, ball speeds are similar. If everything's similar from a numbers perspective, then you know you've got two irons that are doing the right job for you. So how do you choose between one or the other? Well, it can come down to a couple of key factors. One being price, the other being actually your own personal preference. And sometimes I don't see enough of the player getting or giving that feedback in fittings and saying, do you know what, I actually really like the look of the Mizuno more so than T150. I feel more confident with the Mizuno. I trust the Titleist more than the Mizuno, whatever it may be. But when you're going into fittings and you've got two clubs that are incredibly similar, not in just design and style and feels, but in terms of the numbers as well, it's going to come down to you deciding which one you like the look of, which one you feel more comfortable with, which one gives you more confidence and trust, and overall, which one do you want to play? Because I think if you stand on a golf course for the first time, you should be excited to get the wrapper off this head and hit that first iron shot. So look, they're very similar irons, they're very good irons. It's time to give it the AF Golf Store score. So we're going to work backwards today. So it's going to be a little bit different because what I've just said in that video and what I've just said on the mat was very much about personal preference. So I'm going to start with performance. You see from the numbers that they are very, very similar. Off-centre strikes maybe a little bit ahead with the T150, but overall performance, they're exactly the same for me. They're almost a mirror image of each other, just from a different brand. So, you know, we're going to give it a 1-all, give it a tie straight out the gate. In terms of cost price, well, they're both expensive irons. Depending on how you combo it, what you do with it, you can combo 243 with 245 or even 241 in the short irons. In terms of price, T150 does edge it, but not by a lot. And we're talking £5–10. We're not talking a huge amount of money. So I've got to give it to T150, but there isn't really a lot in that. In terms of custom options, well, both of these wonderful brands are in the build center. We can do what we want with them. We can put what shafts we want them. Standard custom options from the brand, there's plenty to absolutely choose from. Like there's loads to choose from. So I'm going to give that a tie as well. So far, T150 is winning 3–2, but only a smidge on the price. You can see how close these irons actually are. So now it comes down to the two things that I think you're going to end up doing when you look at these two irons in a fitting bay, which is look and feel. So let's start with look, and I'm going to base this purely on my preference. So if you were to look at these irons on the floor, side by side, which one do I prefer the look of? God, it's really tough. I think I'm going to say the T150. I think putting all together, the T150 for me today is just the winner on the look, and that may be just because I've hit it a little bit more often. It may be because I prefer in that slightly thicker top edge versus the T243. So Titleist is going to win that. So we're now 4–2. It comes then down to feel, and I've said that nothing feels like a Mizuno. Well, this gets really close. This gets really close, and to be honest, my preference at the moment, having hit this enough, is that T150 is a better feel for me than the 243. So overall, that means Titleist is our winner. Guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope that was helpful. Remember, we do try and do the videos that you guys want to watch. So if you put a comment below on a couple of products that you want to see head to head, or just a product that you would like us to review and try and give you some honest feedback, then we absolutely will. Remember, these videos are purely subjective. They're my opinion. Yes, we're using TrackMan data, but I am a golfer. I've played golf for a long time, and some of my biases do come out in these videos, which is when it comes to forged irons, I'm a bit of I can be a bit picky. So if there is something that you do want us to review, then please hit the comments box below. Please type something in and we'll try and get to it. But in the meantime, please subscribe to the channel and tell all your golfing friends.